Hi, guys. Thanks for subscribing. And if you just happen to find me from scrolling around and you like my videos, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button and help me out. I'm still in my dark and weird little New York hotel room, still up here for a little vacay, having a great time. Loved living here. Would love to live here again. Anyway, I am paying close attention to what our friend Don Winslow, the famous author, is saying on Twitter. He doesn't just speak off the cuff. If he's going to drill down on something, it's for a reason. And he right now is focusing justifiably on Chuck Schumer. And I'm agreeing now with Don Winslow on this. Schumer is a problem. And I don't know if it's a case where he's corrupted or somehow complicit because of his long friendship with Donald Trump because of the whole New York thing. But there's something very wrong, and we can't afford it as a nation. And perhaps politicians like that have gotten away with just kind of moseying along decade after decade without anybody paying real close attention. They collect their money, they get reelected, blah, blah, blah. There's something wrong. Chuck Schumer is somebody who has power and influence, and he isn't using it. Case in point, of course, is the fact that we do not have those daily briefings that I've been calling for, that everybody's calling for. There's no pushback on Trump. A tweet, a strongly worded letter, ain't cutting it. It's not enough. And Don Winslow is on top of that. And he found old photographs from decades ago, when Schumer was just starting his political career. And he's going to, I guess, a birthday party for Roy Cohn, who was Trump's guy, who was apparently even 10 times worse than Michael Cohen and Roger Stone. So the real corrupt guy. Remember, Trump keeps saying, I need to find my Roy Cohn. I need a Roy Cohn. He's looking for the dirtiest, slimiest mobster he can find. And he's doing a pretty good job of finding people who will work with him on that stuff. But I agree, Chuck Schumer is a problem. And the one thing that I do not want to see happen, and this is very important, we can't just let it go like we did with Merrick Garland. Remember, all the Merrick Garland cheerleaders on social media telling those of us who are like, something's wrong, where's Merrick Garland? He needs to be acting. And we were told that we were the problem, that he's just dotting his I's and crossing his T's. And we just don't understand how these things work. And this isn't an episode of Law and Order that's over and wrapped up in an hour. We were being talked down to and patronized like that from people who, frankly, prior to the era of Trump, I mean, these were not esteemed courtroom lawyers or anything like that. They just became Twitter famous. And then the real lawyers, the real prosecutors, the people who know about this stuff and actually have a working history in it, eventually started saying, this isn't right. Merrick Garland has to get moving. There's something amiss. And they were no longer as willing to give an esteemed colleague the benefit of the doubt. We saw the evolution of Lawrence Tribe, who in fact taught Merrick Garland at Harvard Law. So we do have to be willing to evolve and pay attention to what's happening, or importantly, what's not happening. And Chuck Schumer, he knows what Trump is. He's known for decades and has, I'm guessing, been a part of, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, you get to do what you want, we'll leave you alone. There's something wrong here. Chuck Schumer is either too close to it or a part of it, or he's just been around for too long and doesn't really care, as long as he still gets to go to work every day and be Senate minority leader. I don't know. Sometimes when you've been around in a job for too long, you lose the ability to see the gravity of a situation, let alone have solutions to it. I don't know if he cut a deal with Trump, but I do know that he's not doing enough. He's not doing anything. And again, I'm going to beat this dead horse. Daily briefings to fact check Trump at a minimum again, something Chuck Schumer could get rolling. No, he should not be the one doing it. I don't think he's able to do it. And also, he's got a full-time job. You need a very senior level person with gravitas, like a Pete Buttigieg or somebody like that, and have them be a super staffer, kind of the way Elon Musk has been the super staffer for Trump. Daily briefings in the Capitol building. That is how you get the press that are there housed in the House and Senate press galleries there, because it would be part of their beat. Okay? There is no reason, no excuse. I can't even, it just blows my mind that Schumer isn't getting this done. And he's the one who could do it. In fact, he's pretty much the only one who could do it, who could okay this, sign off on it. And if he wanted to, he could give the word this afternoon, get a few staffers together to put it together. I've already explained how this can be paid for very easily. It's not expensive. So at this point, and it's not like, well, Sherry, that's a great idea, but we've got something better coming up. You don't. We're heading into June. If you got a better idea, let us know. But I will not sit quietly and have people tell me to, put me in my place and tell me to sit down and shut up, and you just don't understand these things, and the dotting of the I's and the crossing of the T's like we got with Merrick Garland. And too many people bought into that and eventually realized that they'd been fooled. We got to get rid of Chuck Schumer. We need a new leader. We need the daily briefings. And that's my litmus test right there, because that's the one thing that can be done that is easy, that is in his purview. Again, and I guarantee you that donors would open their wallets. They want to see something happening, and it's not. And we are now at a point where, unless Chuck Schumer has some better ideas or some tricks up the sleeve, something that no one else has figured out, he better start coughing it up. Now, I don't know why the DNC, why Ken Martin isn't doing the shadow people's cabinet that he talked about a couple months ago. It hasn't happened yet. I suspect that it's Schumer holding it up. But again, something coming out of the DNC is not going to have the strength that something that would be a part of the congressional beat for the reporters already housed in the House and Senate press galleries. It is their job to cover things in Congress. I know this. I worked in Congress for a really long time, worked with the press. So Chuck Schumer is a problem. I think it's because of his relationship with Trump. If not, then it's his relationship with other people who are close to Trump or funding Trump. I don't care what the reason is. And if the only way getting rid of Schumer, if that idea gets traction, is to find out what the problem is, I want reporters to start asking. I want Democratic senators to start asking publicly. I want political influencers to start asking, because, again, we were all told to shut up when we started asking these questions about Merrick Garland. And that is the sole reason we are in this situation right now, because if Merrick Garland had done his job, or if we could have forced him out and gotten a real AG, Trump would not be president right now. And Putin would not be able to get away with what he's doing in Ukraine right now. We would still have Medicaid and Medicare. Social Security would not be a problem. We would not have these alleged ICE agents, who I think are just Proud Boys with a fetish and a mask. This would not be happening. This would not be happening. So let's not let grass grow under our feet like we did with Merrick Garland. And this isn't me not trying to be mean to Chuck Schumer. I don't know him personally. It's not that kind of a thing. I want my country back. And I don't like the fact that he's doing nothing. He's not even doing the simplest, most basic things. Now, I guess they had a powwow with whatever they consider to be their top Democratic consultants, thinking about how do we raise money and spend it to fight Trump, which would be a great thing to start talking about in late May. I'm talking about things that don't even cost a lot of money, but will draw the money for real. It's not happening. And Senator Schumer, I'm sorry, but this is on you. This is on you. And we've been at this for months. And you are not more important than the country. Your ego, your job security, whatever it is not more important than my country. And we don't have an explanation from you. I guess we can ask for it one more time. If we all ask together, maybe you'll hear us. But if we don't get one, you got to go. You got to go. You have to give up your leadership position and hand it over to somebody who gives a damn, who isn't so close to Trump, who isn't all tied up in that New York mobster thing, whatever it is. But you cannot be the leader. I have a hunch that just telling you that you can't be the leader is probably not the way to go, because you don't care. You're not stepping aside, and you're also not doing anything. You're just like Merrick Garland. So it's going to have to be other Democratic senators that go to you and have a come to Jesus moment. And I don't know if they'll have that or not. Then maybe we'll get Don Winslow working on that, and we will handpick our Democratic senators that we think are patriotic and have a spine and care about this country, and push them to push out Chuck Schumer. That's a tall order, I know.